one of my viewers sent us in 4 of these Repro brass oilers to see if I could find a use for them. I've always wanted to put better oilers on this engine, so I'm going to have a look and see if I can get these mounted onto the main bearing caps. I'll bring the camera a little bit closer because there's 1 or 2 issues with clearance. We'll have to modify 1 or 2 things. It couldn't just be straightforward with me, could it? One problem I will have is clearance between the counterbalance weight and the oiler if I put the oiler in all the way down there. What I may do was strip it down and see if I can make an extension piece for it and have it up so it's just clearing the top of that crank. The first thing to do is take the main bearing cap off, which I can't remember how they are fastened in now. I mean, I made them and I don't even know how they're fastened in. So I'll pull the bearing cap off, have a look inside of there and see what we're going to do about making those fit. I think they'll look quite nice. They will hold a lot more oil, and they've also got a little drip indicator there. You can look through and see the oil dripping, and you can turn these off. That's on there, lifts a little needle. I'll show you how they work when it gets stripped down, and that closes it off. Where these ones here, I've got a wick in them, and when you leave them, the oil just pulls through the wick into the bearing, and every time you put it away, you end up with a big puddle of oil underneath it. Right, we'll pull this off and see what we can do with it. This has done quite a bit of running since we put it together. Be interesting to see what the actual bearings are like. These are new bearing keeps are made because the original ones were cast and I actually broke one, tightening it down too much, so we made these steel ones. I think I just pressed in the oilers I made for it, bastard. And I'm sure there's a mark on these bearing caps, so they only go one way. There's not. You can see the wick down through the bottom of there that pulls the oil through. There's loads of oil in there. Right, I'm sure they're pressed in. We'll go across the vise so we can knock it out and then go from there. Right, so it is just a press fit in there. Right, we'll put this back on the engine and see what can be done. Right, so that simply drops on and the 2 nuts hold it down, and if I put that in the centre it is going to hit that crank web, so that's no good. So what I think I'll do is I'll make an extension piece and have it up so it's just clear of the crank web. I'll take it apart, probably machine that off and solder a piece of brass tube in that we're going to just tap into there, the same as it was. We'll take this apart first and see what goes on inside it. I'll show you how it works. It's a pity that not to worry. I think it'll look alright on an extension up, just clear of that. These are reproductions and they're made from steel. I think the only brass part will be the actual pin that goes down the needle. I'll take the needle out first. The control needle, that's it there. Get off, you bastard. And that is made of brass. Right, so that's the needle out. the wire goes there to stop any big bits getting in. That's plastic, that one's actually cracked. And a strainer in the bottom, and that'll be a rubber ring. Quite sure what happens here. Right. That simply screws off there. Various sealing washers. That's the jet, or the dripper that goes down through. And that's what controls the oil flow. That tapered needle. Right, so there's nothing else in there. So we need an adapter to go from that to that size. I might have some hexy brass bar the same size as that we could use and make a extension the same as that. I'll have a look and see what material I've got before we start cutting bits off and soldering bits on. Right, I haven't got any hexy bar. I've got plenty of brass bar that size. I think I might just cut that off, bore that out and silver solder that straight into there, and then machine that end down to be the right size to fit in the bearing cap. That's just a straightforward flat face in there that rubber seal goes onto, and we'll leave that hex on there, and that's going to be probably that long. I think that should look alright. We'll go at the lathe and modify this to take that piece of brass bar. Yep. Right, that's going to be good. So we've taken all the insides out. Right, I need to do a little bit of measuring to see how long this tube needs to be. So that will now go into there. It's going to be reassembled like that, and I've got enough clearance on that crank web. I think that's going to look alright. I'll make a new one to tighter fit in the base. I'm not very happy with that, but that's going to do the job. So I'm making another. But I've got to make 2 more of them, and then we can take it outside and bastard it. Well, not bastard it. We'll take it outside and put a little bit of silver solder around there, and that's going to be good to go. That's basically all it takes. A little silver ring all the way around. I'm going to put a little bit on the end of here where it's underside. That's just all the way around. I've actually melted it there. You can see how near it is. The silver solder is very, very near to the melting point of the brass. But I think that should be alright. Focus bastard features. Right, you can see how the solders run around there. A nice little neat bead. Right, that's soldered up and cleaned up quite nicely. And a little bit of solder I put around there, it's going to make it a nice fit in there. A little drop of Loctite, just to seal it. Right, that's splendid. Reassemble it now and then put it back on the engine. Right, there was a little oil seal and a little side glass for the drip. A small seal went under there and then that simply screwed on top. I've used one of the other ones because the glass was cracked on the one I'd been using. That screws into there like that, and that's basically it. Ready to go. We'll mount it on the engine and then we might as well give it a run on air. I wouldn't be content if there wasn't oil everywhere. Right, there's nothing there to play with anyhow. Focus, you bastard, you. Right, you can see the oil drip there forming. And you obviously can adjust the flow so you get a drip every few minutes or every few seconds. It'll not take a greater while to lubricate this. Right, so that's into the bearing, and then another one will come. That's splendid, that. Right, we'll give it a swing, see what happens. You know, getting your finger stuck in that bastard. You make sure that's turned off when it's not in use. But it's working quite splendidly. I think it's only fair that we give the other one a run as well when we're here. Well, the setup on this one's different. It's got boxes on, oil boxes with wick feelers in them. That works quite nicely. Once again, it's just time to say thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't, can you please subscribe? Can you also like the page and share it to your friends? I'm really trying to get to 100,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I think we're at 86,500 now. It's going up very nicely. Anyway, thanks for watching.